Hi, everyone, and welcome to We Are a Crotchety Old Man,
And a woman.
the podcast for you, with you, and sometimes even about you. So today is going to be a kind of a unique episode as Abigail has decided she's taking over today. So it's going to be a fun episode. We are here, well, we're here live in Washington, D.C. So we're not in our base of operations in Virginia. So we're in Washington, D.C. So Abigail, the show's yours.
Thank you, Arden. Yes, this is our second trip downtown. Last year we went to watch the Caps play. And today we came down and we're staying at the very nice JW Marriott off of Pennsylvania Avenue. And Arden made me walk a long, long way to get to the National Air and Space Museum. But we had a great time. And I certainly got us an Uber to come back because I wasn't going to walk that way again.
I was too cheap to pay for an Uber. I apologize. And I had to get my 10,000 steps in. And I think I may have gotten 4,000 in the end.
Possibly.
Possibly.
So, okay, Arden, you came up with a few categories that you want to have for each show. So, the first is it's International Food Day. So,
Yep.
what is the international food?
Today's International Food Day for March 2nd is Banana Cream Pie Day.
Ew.
So I actually haven't had a banana cream pie maybe ever, but I do like I actually do like cream. I like Boston cream as my favorite donuts, and that led to us having a taste test. So I gotta have you explain kind of how we came about our taste test for our donuts.
Okay, so Arden felt that we should do donuts this week. So what I did is I got some donuts from, of course, Dunkin Donuts
Yummy.
and Krispy Kreme,
Okay, and what's
as
the
well
cool
as Randy's from California, and I'll go into that a little bit later. So we're going to taste test these donuts. Yes, I was crazy to bring a donut from California to Washington, D.C., but I did.
So I'm having a 2-day-old Boston cream donut that so sorry I'm trying not to say it because my mom might find it offensive, but as my one good buddy Daniel from episode 2 would say, it looks like a schlong. It's disgusting.
Yeah, apparently at Randy's Donuts in California, at LAX, the Boston cream donut was not round. It was long and wide. And I must say, we're going to bite into it here, but I bitten the one out in California. It wasn't any good. But
Okay.
Arden, this is Arden's chance. So,
Okay, so I'm trying a Randy donut. Um, oh, it's not custard.
not at
Oh, okay. So it's oh, sorry. So I mean, it has like the chocolate frosting, but it's not like the Dunkin' Donut custard. It's that white. It's not. I don't know what. It's like a frosting. It's almost like a Twinkie, like that kind of filling, if that makes sense. Okay.
Now, this is obviously not a blinded taste test
No.
because, Boston cream donut at Dunkin' Donuts looks different from ones from Krispy Kreme.
Right.
And absolutely different from Randy's from California.
So while I'm nibbling, so Randy's Donuts is very famous, but you may not know it. So I actually looked up online, and Randy's Donuts have been in 9 movies, believe it or not. The famous giant donut, it's probably the 2 biggest ones are Iron Man 2, where Iron Man actually is eating donuts in the donut hole, And the second one was Mars Attacks, where the Martians actually blow up the Randy's donut. But it's also even been in The Simpsons, believe it or not. So,
Wow.
so Randy's donuts are world famous. Now, I'm going to take a bite of the Krispy Kreme real fast. Now, I've had a Krispy Kreme, but yeah, so it's same type of frosting. Um, I actually like the old Randy donut, but Randy's donut better though. So real quick, I'm gonna take another quick bite. Oh, I'm such a fat guy. I love a Dunkin' Donuts Boston cream. This one's dinner.
I can only agree with you 100%.
I'm gonna eat this whole
Dunkin'
donut.
Donuts are superior when it comes to Boston cream.
Oh, that's so good. So why were you out? Now you can tell the story of why you were out in California.
Well, it's pretty interesting. I occasionally have to do business travel, and when I usually go places, I see multiple clients. But for this trip, I flew all the way to California to see one client. The meeting went really well, but I had to drive almost an hour from the airport, LAX, to get to my destination. So I was really concerned about the traffic when I was going to come back to the airport. So I got up early and I left at like 4:30 in the morning. And as I'm driving back to the airport, I remember I got to fill the gas tank up or they're going to charge a fortune. So I went ahead and got off the highway and I was like, this might not be the best idea given the neighborhood. But I found a gas station that was very well lit. I pumped my gas, which was $5.50 a gallon, and I hit print receipt and it didn't print. And because this is for work, I need a receipt to get reimbursed.
Okay.
So I go inside the convenience store part of the gas station, and there's a dude in front of me buying a $2 item.
What was he buying? You gotta
I don't even remember. I guess it was a lottery ticket.
A $2 lottery ticket.
Right, and he is about to hand the guy the $2 in bills, and he says, "Wait a minute, I've got change," and he literally counts out 20 dimes. And I'm sitting there thinking, I need to get the hell out of here before I get mugged. And I'm waiting for this guy to count 20 dimes. So I managed to get out of there safely and got to the airport, got a lot of work done, and flew all the way back to Virginia. So, but it was a good trip. But the line to the Randy's Donuts at the airport was really, really, really long. So I waited until it subsided, and I said, do you have Boston cream? Because I didn't see it in the display. And she said, yes, it's this. And it was this thing that looked like a freaking brick. And I went ahead and purchased it, and I regretted it.
So you paid a lot for a schlong, and you didn't really enjoy it.
I did not approve of that word.
Sorry, that's a Daniel word. But I had to ask you, so I've never been to LA. All I've seen is like the hype on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you were driving, was it like San Francisco where there were people all over the street, were there homeless people? Like what was it like?
Well,
I've only heard
I
the
pretty
word.
much hit the highway, so I didn't see any homeless people.
Okay. So did you feel threatened?
No, and I stayed right where Disneyland is at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I could have walked to it, but I didn't because we all know I don't like to walk.
As I just finished my donut. And I'm looking at that Krispy Kreme even though I don't like it.
Okay. So the other category Arden likes is to go over, quote, this day in history. So Arden, I'm going to hand it over to you because you are the history buff.
All right. So this day in history, there was a lot that happened, and one is actually kind of cool. So the first one is that Texas declared its independence from Mexico in 1836. Now, some people don't even know that that's where the famous Battle of the Alamo happened. And after that battle, the very next battle where all the Texans or Texians. Yeah, I know that's or Texicannons. They all they literally were yelling, "Remember the Alamo," and they won their independence in an 18-minute battle where General Santa Anna, excuse me, San Antonio with the city, uh, he actually dressed as a woman to try to escape, and he was captured. And General Houston actually, Austin or Houston, one of those two. I apologize. I'm not reading this from a script, as you can tell. But he actually said, "I will trade your freedom for our freedom." And General Santa Anna said he didn't want to, but he was like, "Fine." And bam, all of a sudden, Texas became its own country. What a lot of people don't know, it was its own country for years, but then was annexed by the United States. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Also on this same day, Texas seceded from in 1861 to fight on the side of the South. So it seceded from Mexico and the United States on the same day.
So the same day, but in a different year.
Right.
Okay.
But pretty
I
amazing.
think you need to clarify that.
Yes,
All right.
1861 and 1836. But that is also why on the Texas flag it has one star on it, and that's why they are the Lone Star, because they were its own country, and they're very proud of that. Also, some famous people were born. Dr. Seuss was born on this day. Pretty cool. Inventor of the Cat in the Hat and a few others.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously he writes classics. Do you have any favorites?
My favorite was the Sneetches, the guys with the stars. There was the Star Belly Sneetches and the non-Star Belly Sneetches. It actually all had to do with racism and things along those lines. But as a kid, you learn that everyone is equal, and that was the one because he had a machine. This guy made a machine, and people were paying to put stars on their belly, so everyone had a star. And then the people who originally had stars on their bellies ended up going into the machine that took the stars off their bellies. And eventually people kept running around, running around, running around. So people had 3 or 4 stars and some had none. And it got crazy. And meanwhile, the one guy just took all the money, got into his car, and drove away with a giant thing of money. And all the Sneetches were left to realize that it didn't matter if they had stars on their bellies or not. Actually, a moral of the story, kind of
I
thing.
didn't quite follow it, but it sounds sad.
Well, it was sad for the Sneetches, but the guy made one. That was one of my favorites.
Okay. I have to say I didn't read that one.
And of course, green eggs and ham. I will not eat my green eggs and ham in a boat, or all of those great ones. What about you? What were your big ones?
I guess Cat in the Hat, and then the Grinch.
Okay, biggest question about the Grinch. Which movie is better? Live action with Jim Carrey or the animated?
Ooh,
We're putting you on the spot.
I know. And I just watched the Jim Carrey version this last Christmas season. But I have to go with the cartoon.
Nice. Okay, I agree. I agree 100%. Well, the last thing for this day in history, and I know I'm taking away from Abigail's big sports thing, but this was also the day that Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points. Never,
Wow.
and I think that was in 1962. 100 points. Now, I mean, like guys are, I think, I'm not a basketball guy, so I don't know, but there are guys now who score like 70, 50s, but yeah, that was this day in history.
Well, if I recall too, I mean, he intentionally stopped at 100.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know
He
that.
could have gotten more, but he stopped at 100 points.
He was also in the movie Conan the Destroyer. Very odd.
And he's also very well known for sleeping around.
Yes, thousands.
I think, yeah, thousands.
Thousands of ladies. What we
That's
have to emphasize
unreal.
in this day and age, we have to say
Unreal.
what.
Okay, so I think now we go to the news desk, which will include both news and sports. For the news, apparently a couple days ago, the CEO of Kellogg, meaning the cereal brand, indicated that families, in order to beat inflation, should eat cereal for dinner.
I have no problem with that.
I guess I don't either, but a lot of people did.
I
I
with
mean, the guy makes millions, and it's almost as though he was saying, let them eat cake. But instead, it was let them eat cereal.
Nice. Well, so this guy, I saw somewhere his estimated worth, his personal estimated worth is over $15 million, and he's saying this. But for someone like myself who's been unemployed a few times, like cereal is not that bad. I mean, is it like what's better, cereal or ramen noodles? I mean, cereal. I mean, okay, if you're buying like super sweet, kids brands of cereal, yeah, I can understand it's not healthy for you, but it is not a bad alternative. I mean, to save cash. I mean,
Yeah,
I have, I think people are more mad at who was saying this than the message itself. But that's all I got for that one.
I agree. And Arden's really happy because coming up soon at the end of March is the kickoff for the UFL.
Yeah, training camps begin at the end of this week, and because we're live in DC, go Defenders! I'm excited. We're going. We're going.
We're gonna go, huh?
We're gonna dress up as lemons,
No.
or we're gonna hang out with Mr. Captain Obvious, and we're gonna drink, and I'm gonna have beer for a rare occasion, and we're gonna contribute to the giant beer snake.
Okay, I can help out with the beer snake.
Nice, 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 nice.
So the other item I wanted to follow up on was the Major League Baseball uniforms. As most of you have heard, that they're just not up to quality standards at all. And to top it off, in certain lighting, their pants are see-through, Arden. See-through.
See-through.
Like Princess Diana's dress. Remember that? And her legs?
No, maybe I should have. I might look at those pictures.
Her dress was totally translucent, and it was a big scandal.
See?
This was right after, either right before she married him or right after.
So when the guy is standing on second base, you could see his Boston cream.
Again, I did not approve of that statement.
Come on, I'm trying.
But yes, you could see anything that was under it. I'll leave it at
His
that.
little ditty, his little friend.
All right, but here's the news flash. Major League Baseball is now considering going back, even though they have spent millions of dollars designing these uniforms for both performance as well as looking good, and they totally blew it. So, I'm all for it because the fans were going to end up buying $150 plus jerseys that were going to be decals rather than stitched. And that makes a big difference.
Now, I haven't bought a jersey in a very long time. Now, as a Yankee fan, it's always tough because they don't have the names on the back. Now, here's a tough one. So if I bought a number 2 Yankee jersey right now, everyone would be like, oh, it's Derek Jeter. And I'd be like, no, it's Paul Blair or Bobby Mercer. Right? Because so many players have had other numbers, but they don't have the name on the back, so you don't know.
Right.
And some guys change their numbers. So it is kind of tough being a Yankee fan. Or in my case, so this was one. Another reason I don't buy jerseys is because a guy could easily get traded, and then you have his jersey and he's no longer on the team.
Well, I needed a new Yankee shirt, so I went online because I wanted to get one that was stitched before they came out with all these decal ones. So I did manage to get their batting practice jersey, which is all navy blue.
Yep, I like those.
With the Yankee symbol on the left-hand side. And I'm really pleased. I got it yesterday, and it looks great. And I can't wait to wear it to a game.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Okay, so Wayne likes to do trivia, so I'll let him lead the trivia.
Okay, so I know Abigail is an expert. Is an expert at all things sports. So
I try to be.
So I had an interesting one. I was on NBC and on their sports desk, and it actually had the top 10 most famous trophies in professional sports. Now, These trophies did not include medals, did not include pins, rings, or the famous green jacket of the Masters. Out of the top 10, can you name 5?
Okay. Well, I don't know the name of it, but the College Football Conference Championship is a crystal football. Is that one of them?
Yes, and the funny part is I don't know the name either, but it had a picture of something completely different now. It wasn't the crystal.
Oh.
They may have changed it since the one guy dropped it and broke it live
Mm-hmm.
on the air. So that's possible. But yes, that's number 8, the NCAA College Football Championship.
Okay. I have to believe the Stanley Cup is on there.
Stanley Cup, number 1. Even though,
of course, it's the biggest one.
Well, even though hockey is not the biggest sport.
No, but the Stanley Cup has got to be the biggest trophy of them all.
It's one of them. I saw one other that was gigantic, but I don't know. I know it weighs 35 pounds. I got a whole history of the Stanley Cup, but I'm not going to go into that. There's some pretty funny stories about it. All right, so you're 2 for 2.
Okay, I mean, I'm an NFL girl. The Vince Lombardi trophy for the Super Bowl.
Oh, perfect. By the way, how many people actually knew that trophy was called the Vince Lombardi Championship? Nice.
I think most people do, Arden.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm thinking.
How
about Wimbledon trophies?
Okay.
I believe the ladies, I'm confident they get a plate.
Yeah, they get a metal plate, and for some reason, the guys get a regular trophy. Like, kind of weird.
And it's shaped very funny.
Yeah, it's odd. It's almost like
it's almost like a crown for the king.
Right. Except the women get this big giant. I guess if you had you can't really put that on your mantle. I don't know. You have to I don't know. Yeah, but that is correct. All right, so you're 4 for 4. This is too easy for you. The sports.
Well, I'm running out of.
You got 6.
I don't know exactly what the trophy looks like, but I have to believe for the World Cup in soccer, that's got to be a famous trophy.
That is number 10. I don't know the name of it, but it's actually very small if you look at it. It's just a little soccer ball in this thing that looks like a cup/hand.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now you got all 5. That was pretty easy. I'm surprised you didn't go into professional basketball. That's a tough one. Do you know the name of that? I don't, until I read this.
I do not, and I don't care for the NBA, so.
The NBA's trophy is called the Larry O'Brien Trophy. I don't know who Larry O'Brien is.
Well, then why'd you say it?
Because I want our fans to tell me who Larry O'Brien is.
Okay.
And that's wearecrotchetyoldmen@gmail.com. Wearecrotchetyoldmen@gmail.com. Okay, the others, I'll just go quickly because we still got a lot of other stuff we want to talk to. There was the Claret jug or claret jug for the British Open. That's another one. This was the surprise. The women's WNBA trophy doesn't have a name yet. I was like, I don't know what that looks like. And then the final one is the Major League Baseball trophy that has all the little flags on it. That's called the Commissioner's Trophy.
See, I had no clue about that.
Yeah, that's actually it's a weird looking trophy. But I thought like that famous yacht boat race one, the America's Cup. I'm like, how is that not on this list? It's actually called America's Cup because America dominated in yachting. I know nothing about yachting, please don't even. But they won it so many years in a row that it actually was called America's Cup.
Wow.
Kind of odd. But all right, so that was my trivia. You aced it. Perfect score. Thank you, Abigail.
You're welcome, Arden. That's what I'm here for.
Nice. Sorry, I think I had the gauge of everything else. So we're here in DC having a good time, and we actually went on an adventure. We went to the Air and Space Museum today. I gotta admit, I was devastated by how bad it was. was today.
Well,
Before I go
I
into
mean,
it, I'll let you
before we
go.
left, I mean, we were able to check in early at the hotel, which was nice. I looked at the map online, and almost 3/4 of the 2 levels were under construction and blocked out. So there were only a few areas that we could go look at. And, Arden was indicating that, a big chunk of what's most famous for, including the shuttle, right?
No, the shuttle's actually that's actually
In Dulles?
in Dulles, Virginia, at the other Air and Space Museum. Heavily recommended, by the way. But all military planes, every single military plane was not on there. The only thing that was open was like any space had like everything about the moon, which was fascinating, by the way. That was really cool.
I did enjoy that.
A tiny little room that was like the size of a garage to the origins of flight. The Wright brothers had their own little wing. We didn't even go into it. So I don't know if the Wright brothers' actual plane is in there. It was at one point. Then something that I did, I think it was like there was a thing on speed racing and then like unique flying. It was like, why is this? Like this was sad. Like I just wanted to see like all the like the Corsairs and all of the big giant bombers and like all of the stuff I remember from. It's been like 20 years since I've been there. Then there was one thing I don't remember. The SR-71 Blackbird. I'm almost positive it used to be there, hanging. It's the fastest plane ever made, and it actually was too fast at one point, like because you could fly from Los Angeles to New York. I'm sorry, Los Angeles to Dulles Airport in an hour and 4 minutes.
You told me that earlier, and I find that really, really incredible.
Yeah, compared to how long was your flight?
Well, coming back, it's always a little shorter, so probably around 5 hours.
Can you imagine 1 hour? And you're there. But it was retired in 1990, and it was finally done. But it's now moved to Dulles, so now I have to go there, and it's right next to the space shuttle. So I'm pretty gung ho about that. But I was so disappointed. All of the famous things that.
I mean, I know we said we won't get crotchety, but I was a little crotchety about this whole thing because our plan was to go to that museum. And I don't understand why they didn't just close down maybe 20% at a time.
Right.
Instead of, it had to have been at least 70% of the building was closed down.
Yeah, so that was a little devastating. And then we go outside and we got the second most expensive milkshakes in the history of mankind. So you basically get like 16 ounces?
Mm-hmm.
A 16-ounce milkshake.
$10 a piece.
Oh my God! Like we got 2 pretzels for $15. Like it's so expensive, but
Arden was living on the wild side after we got back. Because he went to the gym.
Yes.
I couldn't go because my back was hurting me from all the walking. But Arden went, and I just want to tell you, Arden, I'm proud of you.
I'm doing it because I knew I was going to be eating this big giant donut. By the way, I've stopped eating the donut. I finished off the Boston cream. I ate the whole thing. Abigail had 1 bite of it. I ate the rest. The Krispy Kreme I didn't eat, and I took 1 more bite of the Randy's one, but yeah, so we're tossing those. They didn't make it. That was honestly funny. But feel free, reach out to us. We are crotchetyoldmen@gmail.com. We are crotchetyoldmen@gmail.com. And you can also find us on Facebook. Not Facebook yet. We're working on that. That's going to be a big one. We're taking a lot of pictures. And we're also on Twitter, aka X, at Crotchety Old Men. So feel free. Sometimes I post some other things there, some pictures and things. But that's
yeah, and note that the word woman is not in any of those scenarios.
Eventually. Hey, it looks good now. If you look on our thing, it says we are a crotchety old man.
I know, but not in the email. not in the Twitter feed, but that's okay.
Yeah, the Twitter feed I don't know how to change, but
That's okay. I'm fine with it.
I think I did change it actually.
I'm fine with it.
Oh, I don't think she's fine with it. I think she's getting crotchety on me. Anyway, well, thanks everyone, and we'll be back at our normal base of operations next week. This is Arden.
And Abigail.
She forgot her own name. Have a wonderful week.